Hey everybody, it's Ian. Class got canceled today, so I just wanted to run you quickly through the rules. The rules? That's not the word I'm looking for. The expectations for the annotation assignment. As always, I'm stuck in my office. There's someone practicing the piano in the classroom next door, so apologies for that rude intrusion into what we were talking about. So the syllabus basically tells us that it is a kind of a classic standard um, collection assignment. Go out into the field, as it were, and that field can be virtual, and that field doesn't need to be particularly brazen or among strangers. It could be among family and friends, and find some kind of legend that's in active circulation. You've already done this through the database assignment, so you're already halfway there. You can choose one of those already. I came across some lovely examples. Feel free to double dip, as I expressly say in the syllabus. But you want to sort of record it in as natural a context as possible. So preferably don't use one of your digital ones. Use one that you got from somebody. And then include it. Find analogs. Find comparisons as much as you can. So I want you to include a short write-up, which is still reasonably long. I say 1,200 to 1,500 words, where you talk about how that legend appears in contexts. You search as best you can for parallels, for arguments, because sometimes it might be a very localized legend. As you know, it could be something like a local cemetery, or a surprise or surprised, or a version of the hook or something, and you can find parallels to that. So sometimes it might be fairly straightforward. This thing is a local version of this other thing. As you go looking for this other thing, and I'll talk about how you can go about doing that if you're not clear, you want to be paying attention to the fact that it is a localized version, that it is important to be told. So why is it told? Who does the telling? Can you ask them when they first heard it? Can you ask them in what occasions they might hear it, or conversely, they might tell it? And you're going to get some interesting background. So I expect you to do library research. Library in the loosest sense of the term, because most of our library research is now done online, but going through things like JSTOR and so on. An easy way of doing it is going to something like Brunvan's Encyclopedia of Urban Legends, and we have a copy of that at the library. Or going to Snopes. I know I've told you, as a source for finding legends for your collection project, don't go to Snopes, but it is a useful resource, particularly, and this is the emphasis, particularly that they almost always have references for each and every article. They have references to further academic discussions of it. So that's where you're looking. The same way that you can start your research in Wikipedia, but check references and maybe actually go past the wiki to peer review, you can find peer review articles through Snopes as well. So that is a good. Those are both Brunvan's article, Brunvan's Encyclopedia, which has references, and Snopes Encyclopedia, Snopes website, a lovely place for references. So the too long, didn't read version is: take a legend in active circulation, search for analogs, search for broader analogs, because sometimes it's not like simply a matter of a retelling, but like, oh, this is clearly a local version. And I want you to make an argument for why you consider it to be legend. And in terms of the sort of the two-factor, why it works, in terms of why it could be credible, how it sort of hovers on that periphery of believable and unbelievable. So whatever the actual stance that you might have about the legend itself, well, no, but we know that basic discussion as we've been going. I don't think this happened, but I understand why people would, because, and see if you can figure out why it might be in this sort of active circulation as it stands. There is a model of the assignment on Moodle. If you are if you need a point of reference, it is, I'll give you a heads up, it is a version of it's, in fact, it's an assignment that I did in grad school, so it's a little thicker than I'm expecting from you, and that was also within the context of a practice in collection and transcription and so on. So it's a little heavier than the expectations for this course. But on the other hand, it's thematically very much the same. Here's a legend, here is as close an analog as I can find, here are other variations that are akin to it, here is a possible meaning that I'm reading into it, here's a possible reading that the teller is reading into it, and here's why I think it's in some kind of active circulation, and here's why I can argue that this thing is fundamentally a legend. That's it, reasonably straightforward. Everything else is information is either in the syllabus or on Moodle. So, be well, take care, and I will see you soon. Bye-bye.